Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Friedman, and I'm a senior at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I'm a communications major, and for this TED Talk, my topic is El Nino. Specifically, I'll be focusing on marine life, what El Nino is, and its global impacts. El Nino goes in cycles of 3 to 5 years and has major impacts on our lives. So, what is it? El Nino usually begins in late December of the year it occurs. South American fishermen named El Nino this because it means little boy in Spanish. This specifically is a reference to baby Jesus. What happens during El Nino is that water surface temperatures warm and trade winds decrease. This causes a depression in the thermocline over the eastern Pacific and an increase in thermocline in the western Pacific. Scientist Mark Cardawine with Discover Daily explains that this is a natural event regardless of climate change, but its effects are intensifying because of climate change. All major marine fisheries in the western United States are affected by El Nino. Major marine fisheries in the northern Pacific, including large salmon stocks, are killed due to warm water temperatures. Their normal migratory waters are warmer than they should, and the salmon cannot sustain the heat. Often, large stocks of these salmon are killed around Vancouver Island. Rockfish, which are a cod, and Pacific whiting migrate into deeper, cooler waters, and the squid follow them, all transitioning away from their normal fisheries, affecting how and what fleets can fish them. In my own experience during the 2015-2016 El Nino, nutrient-rich water was brought to Southern California for a significant amount of time. Working as a deckhand on a chartered fishing boat that went from LA Harbor to Catalina Island each day, we saw fish caught only 400 miles south of San Diego, appearing near our Channel Islands. Wahoo, or as the Hawaiians call them, ono, showed up in large numbers, and we caught one around Catalina Island in late October of that year, something that had never been seen before. Recreational fishermen ended up becoming spoiled off the riches of these waters. Now, a struggling economy has left California's fishing fleet in danger. Daily, recreational boats are being sold to Alaskan commercial crabbing and coding operations. From a financial standpoint worldwide, recreational fishing led to a $26,783,311,000 profit. This was compared to the commercial fishermen who earned $25,578,720,000 and caught a total of $8,275,974,000 fish more than recreational fishermen, and they still made less money. What categorizes El Nino is a 0.5 degrees Celsius change in water temperature that lasts at least 5 months. These warmer waters from El Nino have an increased energy that is released into our atmosphere and thus creates a weather change that's felt over the entire planet. What this map here shows is a non-El Nino temperature year. This one specifically was 2014, in which scientists believed El Nino would occur. Instead, it didn't happen until 2015. What you'll see in the next map is the difference in an El Nino year and how that warm water travels across the entire Pacific Ocean. Focusing on El Nino specifically, in 1998, on the top left you see the charts show an increased heat over the water surface temperature across the entire Pacific Ocean. On the bottom, you see your average yearly what's considered normal ocean temperatures. El Nino affects ecosystems in the ocean and on land. Drought and wildfires are felt in Southeast Asia, flooding along the west coast of the United States as well as the Gulf, and there's an increase in tropical storms over the Central Pacific, all while decreasing the amount of Atlantic hurricanes. In normal, non-El Nino conditions, trade winds blow towards the west, across the tropical Pacific, away from South America. These winds pile up warm surface water in the West Pacific, so the sea surface is about 1 to 2 feet higher offshore in Indonesia than it would be across the Pacific in Ecuador. Like I said earlier, El Nino is not caused by climate change. El Nino was first successfully predicted in 1986, and according to Dr. Michael McFadden of NOAA, El Nino and La Nina are the most predictable weather phenomena other than the change of seasons. The importance of El Nino, I believe, relies in the fact that it's predictable. As humans, we can prepare for the events that are about to happen. Like I previously stated, El Nino is not centralized over the Pacific region, but as the trade winds decrease and the ocean temperatures rise, we will see lasting effects around the entire world. El Nino has caused an estimated $10 billion in weather related damage worldwide since the 1983 season. Limiting possible damage through activism is a counterbalance to, to the lack of rain during monsoon seasons in places such as India and Australia. We can do man made controlled brush fires. Instead, wild brush fires have been ignited and caused more damage to Australia and India than humans could ever do. Places like Guam and Hawaii can prepare for more significant rain. California can prepare for the flooding it may occur, pre planning escape routes, and rerouting water to refill reservoirs within the state. Currently, El Nino is only expressed in media and how it affects our pockets or our weather or how we leave our house. Strongest El Nino history could bring 6 months of storms to Britain, the Express says. Or the Daily Mail mentions how chocolate and coffee will skyrocket, but there'll be no financial relief to the state of California. El Nino is growing, and we need to understand that this predicted phenomena can actually be beneficial to our marine fisheries as they follow currents to our and can be controlled by our efforts as humans to limit the damage that it can occur. El Nino is ultimately the most predictable oceanic and atmospheric event other than the change of seasons. This increase in sea surface temperature relaxes trade winds, and nutrient rich water piles up along the western seaboard of the Pacific Ocean. In the central Pacific, tropical storms are increased, and in the eastern Pacific, there is drought in places like India, Australia, Indonesia. These lasting effects are felt most by us as humans in our food chain, as commercial fishing is affected anywhere between Peru and Alaska. We should expect El Nino to happen every 3 to 5 years and prepare for this change in our lifestyle. This is good to slow overfishing by the commercial fleets, and we need to make sure that we understand that this is not a climate change event, but the effects of El Nino are intensified by climate change. Thank you. I'm Jack Friedman. Thanks for your time.